So welcome to our team call this week. Brigida cannot be on this week, so I am just going to kind of hop on, introduce myself, and kind of kick off the night. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ashley Watts. I have been coaching. It'll be 7 years in January. My fitness health journeys will be 7 years starting in October of this year. So I have been at this for a little bit. I was a discount coach for the first 3 months, just as I did my transformation. I never in a million years thought I'd be sitting here coaching 7 years later, but here I am, and I absolutely love it. I am a Success Club legend. I have hit Success Club for 79 months straight. I have literally hit it every month of my business. So I have never missed Success Club, to be honest. It's what I was just kind of told to do when I first started. And I used to be a first grade teacher. I taught in the classroom for 5 years while my husband was in school, putting him through school. And so I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I needed an income, or it would be something at nighttime, working at a sandwich shop or something when my kids were in bed, so I could be a stay-at-home mom. So people ask me how I've hit Success Club every month of my business, and I'll tell you, like, my back was against the wall. I needed income, or else I needed a nighttime job. And so for me, I just made it a top priority to hit Success Club. I have not been the best recruiting. For those of you who don't know, so I had a super rough pregnancy a couple years ago. My water broke at 22 weeks. So I managed to hit Success Club while on bed rest for 15 weeks. But I kind of put that on the back burner when it came to recruiting. My focus just kind of changed to just survival mode and helping people. And it was a way to pass time while I was on bed rest. And so I just feel like I'm getting my business back into gear when it comes to the recruitment side again and everything else. But I do say, and I will say, like, my strong point has just always been Success Club. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you tonight. I did have some really cute slides all made up for you guys. And my daughter got super sick last night, so we ended up at the doctor's at 2 a.m. So I'm going to start with these slides, and then I'm going to kick over to my sheet, which I will share with you guys at the end of the night. So just my story, just kind of in general, so those who don't know me kind of know who I am. Like I said, I started my own fitness journey over almost 7 years ago. I was sitting at 200 pounds. I was very athletic before all of this happened. My story came through multiple miscarriages and infertility. I've had 3 kids now. When I started my fitness journey, I just had my oldest son, who is 8 now. But through the 3 kids, I've had 7 miscarriages, and I became a very emotional eater. I went from very athletic to hiding in the closet, eating my sorrows away. My coach is Breezy, and those who know Breezy know that we share that same story. We actually have both had 7 miscarriages together. I actually hung out with her this weekend. I went to Idaho, and it was so fun to be able to see all our kids playing together, because that's how our journey kind of started. And I say that because when I talk tonight about inviting, I want you to understand that she invited me to a challenge group, and I told her no several times, but she never, ever, ever gave up on me. And when she talked to me, she wasn't just trying to sell me a product, but she was genuine and real and wanted to know about me. She wanted to know about where I was in my infertility, where I was in my struggles, what tests I had done, how she can best help me, not just through Beachbody, but in life. She was a real friend. And I always say, I would have never, ever, ever thought about coaching had I not known her and I trusted her. I knew, we all have heard these yuck MLM stories, and I was super against them. My memories literally popped up not too long ago, like 10 years, like, anyone know any stay-at-home jobs, not MLM, I don't sell things. And here I am, simply because of a person who never gave up on me, who, just talked to me. And so I am still here. I am, recouping. I've had 2 kids since then. and my story still continues. And so I just wanted to kind of introduce that part of my story. But tonight I really want to talk to you guys about the invite flow, or how I invite and how I turn a conversation over. And so this is where I started to make everything out for you. And am going to switch over to the PDF. That's actually my Coach Basics. And I will share this with you guys as we go along. But when it comes to inviting, I always tell my coaches it's scary for two reasons. Number one, you haven't done it enough, or two, you're doing it wrong. And when I say doing it wrong, I mean you're being a total salesperson. You're being that copy and paste message that we all get from other people, from maybe other companies, or hopefully not other coaches. But you all know what I'm talking about when I say, we get those copy and paste messages. I'll tell you, the secret to hitting Success Club for 79 months wasn't working through this magical wording, wasn't working through it's not luck. It's simply building a solid relationship. I am honestly, most of my Success Club points come from Facebook, not Instagram. So those who are on Instagram, I'm not saying it's the wrong way or the right way, but those who don't love Instagram like me, realize there's other outlets, and you don't have to always be on Instagram. Do I post to Instagram? Do I have an Instagram account? Yes, I'm only at like 4,000 followers. I'm still working through that. I still am consistent on there. But I want you to understand, like, I have built my entire business mostly through Facebook, and that continues to be kind of my jam. And so my invite flow might be a little bit different than yours, only because I do it mostly on Facebook, but it can be done on both platforms. And so I think there's four big things that when you're talking to people, you have to understand. The first thing is there's just to find that thing that makes you relatable. We all connect, no matter your race, your color, your age, your size, whatever. We're humans, and there's something that we all can connect on at some level because of that. Guys, there's so many coaches out there because I can't help the people that you can help. I've walked a completely different shoe than other people. I am a coach that will probably never, ever, ever have a six pack because I like my sweets, and I'm okay with that. Like, at the end of the day, that's me. I'm not a coach who gets up every day at 5 a.m. super pumped to work out. I'm a coach that has to talk myself into it every single day. And that's my story. However, I'm not going to find those fitness junkies who absolutely love it and, get up every single day. Some other coach is going to find those people. So when you're talking to people, the best part about this is you get to pick. Like, you get to have your clients, you get to pick your team that you work with. But I think one of the very first things is just finding where you're relatable. Those little things, I totally get it. When I ask them, what are your health and fitness goals? There's going to be something that they say that I can relate to. Maybe it's that they eat in the closet like I did, that they were an emotional eater because they're dealing with hard things. I get that, I was 60 pounds overweight too. Like, whatever they're telling you and whatever they're, one of my favorite questions to ask is, tell me more about you. What are your current health and fitness goals? What are your struggles? And it's interesting, in that one little couple sentences that I write, the stories that unfold in these paragraphs that are like divulged into me. And I don't relate to all of it, but there's something in there that I always can relate to because they're my friends on Facebook. These are the people that I have chosen to be friends with and that I connect with. And so when you're talking to people, it's using those words like, I was in the same boat. I struggle with nutrition too. Use the phrases like, I totally get it. I understand because I struggle with this too, whatever they're telling you. I thought the exact same thing. I thought working out for 30 days at home was going to be impossible, whatever it is. I know the feeling because, use those sentences so they know that you understand their story and that, you are relatable. Always ask what their goals are so you know how you can best help them. So as you're talking to people, realize it's not just you selling them, but finding that way that you can help them. if you're someone you're talking to is struggling with emotional eating, what program might be a little bit better fit for them. If you know that they haven't worked out in 5 years and they can't walk around the block, starting them with 80-day obsession or insanity or something else isn't going to be the perfect fit for them. So it's finding those little bits of information so that when they do say yes, you're confident and they're confident that you can find the right tools for them that client particularly needs. And then after you relate to something they told you about their goals, move the conversation on to Beachbody On Demand. And I'm going to kind of show you how I do this and the examples that I use, because the very first thing I do is just build a relationship. And I let 9 times out of 10, because I've built a solid relationship, they in turn ask me the first questions. They're the ones asking me because they see what I'm posting, they see my results, they see other people that I'm posting. 9 times out of 10, they actually come to me with a question. Sometimes, and many times, every single day, I still reach out to people and say, hey, like, I've got a mom boot camp coming. Hey, it's back to school fitness time. Like, our kids are finally going back to school 2 days a week. That's what we're doing, like, finally I can like get them out the door and I can have some me time. Like, me personally, I am ready for them to go back. At least it's 2 days a week. And so, as you move the conversation though, I still invite. I invite every single day. I hit Success Club, not because of a post, because I dig into my messages and I talk to people. I talk to multiple people a day. I invite directly 5 to 10 people a day, but I'm constantly building relationships. I have a list that I go through. If I don't feel like inviting them that month because it's just would be awkward because the conversation isn't there, I put them on the next month's list or 2 months out to just reconnect with them. And, at the beginning when I told you about Breezy, when I told her no, she said, and I was one of her first people she ever asked to join a group. And I was like, nope. I failed at having kids. I failed at nutrition. I failed at everything in my life right now. Like, I don't want to put another failure on my plate. And that's how I felt. But when she talked to me, the next message was never, hey girl, I've got my back to school boot camp. You ready yet? It was, hey, where are you? Like, where are you with your tests you're having done? How are you doing emotionally? Like, I know I've been down that road, we've been down this road together. Like, where are you? How are you feeling? What's the next step for you guys? And so, when you're talking to people, don't be that salesperson that only talks to someone when you want to sell a challenge pack or when you need to hit SC because it's the last day of the month. And so the last thing here I have is, so after, yeah, I already said that part. Just kidding. So we're going to move on to kind of how I talk to people. How I talk to people. So let's say they're interested. They've asked me or I've invited them and I said, I've got this challenge group coming up. I think you'd be a perfect fit for it. I know you're exhausted. You're with me. Our kids will be back at school. Are you ready to dive in and do this with me? Whatever it is. Or they ask me. The very, very, very first question I ask them is, tell me more about you. Like, where are you? What are your health and fitness goals? What are your challenges? All that kind of stuff. Yes, I'm going to get to this question. What does a follow-up invite look like for you? We're going to talk about the follow-up here in just a little bit. So if I don't get to it, remind me at the end, because I totally will hopefully answer that question for you. So like I said, when I ask them, what are their current health and fitness goals? What are their struggles? This is where I relate to them, right? I relate because I know what it's like to be an emotional eater. I relate because I thought working out at home, like I honestly owned probably 4 or 5 Jillian Michaels DVDs before this. I owned the Biggest Loser boot camps. Like, I owned all those, but I never did it because I got bored. So when people message me and say, like, I can't work at home, it's boring, I find that connection, I relate. But the first thing I do when they're interested is I ask them, like, I relate to them, and then I turn over to the ask. Do you know what Beachbody On Demand is? Like, I've been working out at home. Are you familiar with what Beachbody On Demand is? So this would be like an example, and I'm just going to kind of read it, and I will save this doc for you, and I'll share this with the recording. Um, but this is how I would relate, and then ask them like about Beachbody On Demand, and that's right here. I'll just kind of like highlight maybe this area. It says, "Oh, friend," and I would really use their name. I just have it there, or I'd voice message them. "Oh, friend, I love everything you just said. We all have a story to share. I have mine too. I totally know what it's like to be a yo-yo dieter and an emotional eater. I was over 200 pounds myself when I started my journey, and I did it, and can't wait to help you do it. Girl, failure is not an option. You will be another success story. I love that as busy mamas, I can work out at home while the kids are at school and the baby is down for a nap. Do you know much about Beachbody On Demand?" So the very first thing I do when I actually dive into the actual inviting process, getting them into a challenge group, is I flip the conversation to Beachbody On Demand. When I ask them what Beachbody On Demand is, I'll tell you there's like four typical answers. No, what's that? Is that like Netflix? Is that something you do at home? Is it on Netflix? Is it on Hulu? I've gotten that several times too. Can I get it through Hulu? So when you start inviting, you're going to get these same answers kind of over and over. So after you've talked about Beachbody On Demand and they're responding back to you, the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Shakeology, so they get a glimpse of what Shakeology is. So here's an example. So I go from Beachbody On Demand to Shakeology. So this is, of course, they're interested. We go Beachbody On Demand. Then we're going to slip in Shakeology so they know what Shakeology is. So when they respond to me, let's say they say they are bored working at home. So I find the relatable thing again. I was afraid of getting bored working out at home too. Okay. I had tried so many DVDs and I would quit after about a week if I made it that long. You know what's amazing? There are over 800 workouts to choose from, so you never get bored. You will also be a part of my online community with other women for support, motivation, accountability. Game changer. Beachbody On Demand is literally the Netflix of fitness. Beachbody On Demand allows you to stream every program that Beachbody has ever created and will create through streaming, and so much cheaper than any gym membership. You can stream from any device that has a web browser or use Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all that stuff. You would have unlimited access to top-notch programs. I list a couple of programs, and this always changes depending on kind of the newer ones that they are probably familiar with. They have tons of workouts. I kind of go, there's low impact, high impact, cardio, weight boxing, kickboxing, dance, everything. I lay it out for them. Bonus, it's awesome not having to leave home to go to a gym. Right now, they have a huge deal going on. We can get a bag of Shakeology for literally half off. Do you know much about Shakeology? So I tell them about Beachbody On Demand. I give them enough so they know kind of what Beachbody On Demand is. And then I always end with the question to keep that conversation going, right? So I would ask them about Shakeology. Do they know what it is? And this is, again, you're going to get those standard answers. It's a protein shake, right? No, never heard of it. My friend does it, and so there's always those kind of answers. But when they ask me about Shakeology, I'm going to respond and I'm going to tell them what Shakeology is, but now I'm going to move the conversation right over to meal plans. Okay, so they know they're going to get Beachbody On Demand. They know they're going to get Shakeology. Now they know that they're going to get meal plans. So this would be an example of how I would feed that conversation. And I explain, Shakeology is a meal replacement shake. You drink it as one of your 5 meals throughout the day. It has over 40 superfoods. I kind of go through my own story with it. There's nothing artificial in it, no artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, soy, all that stuff. Between the combination, your body's able to perform its peak level. And I threw this in, and I have found that this little paragraph was a game changer for so many people. I actually pretty much copy and pasted from the product training guide. And because people just don't know, when I started Beachbody, I'll be honest, my degree is in health education, but when it came to understanding nutrition, there was so much out there that I didn't understand why a shake was necessary at that time. All I knew is that Breezy had drank it and she got results with it. And so I was willing to give it a try. But people just don't understand the difference. In general, my target market anyways, why a protein drink is so much different than Shakeology. And so just explaining it that, like, let's face it, the American diet's terrible. Rarely do any of us eat enough fresh fruits and vegetables. Instead, we reach for what's quick and easy, packaged food and fast food, which have been so overprocessed they lose a lot of their nutritional value. The reality is we're running our bodies on empty, and like a car, we need fuel to go. Good fuel, not empty calorie junk. When you start thinking of what you put into your body as fuel, you immediately realize how important it is to help supplement our daily diet. Um, Even if you're following a more nutrient dense diet full of quality protein and fats, you can no longer rely on getting all of your nutrients from food due to soil and water depletion, food and environmental toxins, poor absorption, pesticides. They're causing nutrient deficient in our diets. Like that paragraph, I will say, has led to many conversations that people didn't even realize, because most of us don't understand nutrition. Most of the people we're talking to don't understand nutrition. So I kind of share my experience, even if you're trying everything. I share my kind of experience with it. When I participated in a 6-day challenge group, I lost 20 inches. I've kept those inches off, all that kind of stuff. And so this is where I flip the conversation. So I go Beachbody On Demand to Shakeology to the meal plan that they're going to get. So I say, again, end with the question, do you want to see an example of a meal plan that I have in the group? So in my group, I use BOD groups, and I have my own. Yes, I will share this entire document so you have the entire thing that you can use. It's literally just in my Coach Basics. So I'll just share this entire document with you guys. So the meal plan, and this is what I found, that so many people are scared. People can do a fitness program because they literally follow the trainer, but no one's in their kitchen telling them how to eat. And for me, that was like my biggest thing too. Like, what do I eat? I remember asking my coach, like, okay, like, I know I can't have Oreos, but like, is like the Greek yogurt fine, or whatever it is. Like, in my mind, it was all or nothing. And so the next thing I share them is they're going to get a meal plan. They're going to like get my weekly meal plans. Like I said, I run a Facebook group still where I can connect with my personal challengers. And then like me and Breezy have actually combined. And it's kind of like BOD groups is like the newest MyFitnessPal, right? It's the whole community of people talking. But my Facebook group is where I can actually connect with my clients and share those meal plans and share my weekly meals and share my recipes and share all those things. So I explained to them they're going to get a meal plan. And I explained to them, like, here's an example, but let me explain a few things. Like, because I have the color coded on there. So I just kind of explain, here's an example, there's color coded, here's what it means, all that fun stuff. Yes, Robin, I will be sharing this entire doc. I'll share with you guys. So I actually send them a link to my meal plan. It is nothing fancy. And I tell them in here that it is not going to be fancy, that you'll see multiple meals for, like, lunch. You might have the same lunch twice that week. And that's what it's about. It's about keeping it basic when you first start and then building upon that. If you want to have 5 different lunches, you totally can. But I kept this one super, super simple so they can see that it's easy. I also have it in the A, B, C, and D. So if their spouse wants to do it with them, they can see that breakfast, lunch, and dinner can be the exact same thing for all of you. Your husband may just add some, an extra vegetable because he needs an extra green container for the night or whatever. So I actually share a meal plan that they would get along with the recipes that are attached in that particular meal plan. So they look a little bit different now because I pay for the mompreneur, and so I share a lot of those. But I always guarantee 30 days of meal plans, and this is the very first thing I actually send my clients is this meal plan so they can kind of see. So this is the 30 days that I guarantee them, and then if they continue on Shakeology, they'll continue to get monthly meal plans and everything else, or if they stay on HD. So that's kind of one of those benefits of staying on HD. So I totally just logged. 1 second. Okay. So that's where I kind of go through. Sorry, I'm trying to like make this small. um, so when I talk to people, it's always building the relationship, talking it or turning it to Beachbody on Demand, changing it over to Shakeology, changing it over to the meal plan, and then asking them, does this look like a good fit? Is this something that would be a good fit for you? And that's where this comes in right here. I love sharing the meal plan because this makes a super easy follow-up because you've given them something of value. You've given them a freemium that they can use whether they sign up or not. Okay. It's going to be a little bit harder with not having the portion control containers, but the recipes are all there. Everything they need is right there for a week of stuff. But it's a great way to follow up because I just sent them something and now it's easy for me to go back and say, hey, I just want to check in with you. Did you have a chance to look at that meal plan I sent you? What did you think of it? Does it look like it'd be a good fit for you and your family? All that kind of stuff. So it makes the follow-up super easy without it being like an awkward thing. Like, hey, like, do you like it? Do you not? Does it look like a fit? What else do you need from me? And so it makes it easy to follow up. So my follow-up would simply just look like, hey, Brittany, I decided I would check in with you. My upcoming health and fitness challenges are filling up quick. So I thought I would check with you to see if you had a chance to look over the meal plan that I sent you. What did you think about it? Does it look like something that'd be a good fit for you? Most of you guys, I'm sure you guys know, you always end with the question when you're talking to people. Like I should have mentioned that at the beginning. Like always end with the question just to keep that conversation going. Or if I always say if the conversation dies, say goodbye. Like don't try and drag the conversations out. But those questions allow you for a quick follow-up a lot of times. So does it look like something would be a good fit for you? If they still don't follow up, it's something I could say, hey, I'm down to my final 2 spots. I told you they're filling up quick. Do you want one of those last 2 spots? So it kind of makes the follow-up a lot easier in those next couple days, couple weeks, couple months, whatever it is, down the road. So let's say they say, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good fit for me. I like this. I like that it's something my husband can do with me. It's something I can make for my kids. They're kid-friendly meals for the most part that my kids will eat. I could, substitute whatever. But I'm worried about the cost. Like that's always the next question, right? Like this all sounds amazing, but what's the cost? And this is where like I want you to feel like 100% confident because this is me. I was not confident at first was the price. I was so scared to tell them it was $160. And when I started, guys, I, for $160, bought Turbo Jam DVDs. That was what I lost my weight on. The very first program was Turbo Jam. I got one DVD that had like 5 workouts on it. I got a bag of Shakeology and that was it. People like will spend over like it's like $120 for Amazon Prime, right? Like for free 2-day shipping, people are willing to spend that money. But or ticket to Disneyland. Like there's so many things. Like if you were to go and walk into Planet Fitness or I can't think of the other one. There's tons of them, but I think it's Planet Fitness like $10 a month. Like they say $10 a month, but then you have your quarterly charge. You got to pay extra for your personal trainer. You got to pay extra for your nutritionist. You got to pay extra for all that stuff. This is the best deal that you can literally get. And they're going to get Shakeology now for over half off. And so this is where I lay everything out. And I think this is where it's super important so they can have that list of things broken up. I literally say 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I number it out so people know for $160, they're going to get all of this stuff. It's not just Beachbody on Demand. It's not just Shakeology. It's so much more. So this is kind of the conversation I have with them. It would say something like this. I'm so glad it looks like a good fit for you. I love that you can get Beachbody on Demand for an entire year with Shakeology on sale, and it's so much cheaper than any gym membership. Right now, you get the all access Beachbody on Demand challenge pack on sale. You fill it in with MBF. This is where I would say you get the Beachbody on Demand challenge pack, but right now you can have the VIP access to MBF at no extra charge. It's not going to launch on Beachbody on Demand until December, late December. So this is a chance for you to experience something that not everyone has, and you get it right now for free if you sign up this month. So this is where I would list it. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get unlimited streaming. And I used to not say this, but so many people didn't understand that you got everything. That you can stream. They thought they had to stream from just like a computer. But it's on Amazon Fire. It's on the Apple TV. It's on the Roku, all those things. So I'm going to tell them, this is what you get. You get unlimited streaming. You get a meal plan that follows portion control containers, so you don't have to count calories. You get access to my virtual group for support, motivation, and accountability. You get healthy recipes for you and your family. You're going to get a Shakeology shaker cup. You're going to get your first month of Shakeology. You're going to get my personal meal plans to help you meal plan for you and your family. You're going to get all this, me as your coach so you don't fail. And it's usually, with everything, it's going to be over $200, right? But it's on sale, and you're going to get everything for only $160. What are your thoughts? Are you ready to do this? Do you want me to save you a spot in my upcoming challenge group? This is another sentence that I added that was like a game changer. Do you want that spot saved? If they say yes, I get that commitment date straight from them. What day do you want to order? So if they are going to order on August 8th, I can, send a message on the 7th. Hey, are you so pumped to get this? All that kind of stuff. I keep it simple. I don't want them to know at this point all of their options when it comes to challenge packs. I don't want them to be flustered and know that you can get Energize and Recover, and you can get, all these different challenge pack options, because for them, ends up being so complicated. But I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there and explain to them that they can upgrade their challenge packs at the very end. So let's say you give them everything. You lay it all out and they say no. Okay. The truth is, most people are going to tell you no the first 2 times, the first 10 times, the first 100 times. I've done this for 7 years, and I literally have clients I talk to, the very first people who say no, 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 and years later, they see I haven't gone anywhere. They see I still have results. They see I'm still happy and I'm happier. They see all this stuff, and they followed me for 6-7 years, and they're finally ready. So don't be afraid of the no's. The best thing you can do is go for those no's every month, because those no's always turn into yeses. But with that said, every no I get, I explain it too. Again, I'm relatable. I totally get it. The price was a shocker for me too. I had to save up for it. I had to cancel my gym membership I wasn't using at the time, because that was a waste of money, but I had to save for it. This is where I have a free community on Facebook where I have the option to do a 14-day Beachbody on Demand group. I always have a date that it's starting. So I always can invite them and say, hey, do you want to just try it out? Do you want to try it out? I have a free group starting on August 12th or whatever your date is, where you can try it out risk-free. It's all you. But I have that date, and I enter that date because I know when it's going to be starting. I also ask them if they want to be a part of my free community, where I talk about nutrition, but I also talk about things that I love, like home organization, prepping, I love budgeting. I'm a school teacher. I'm a checklist person. So in my free community, I'm going to be doing back to school, getting your kids organized, giving them a before school starts checklist so they know what they need to do before they walk out the door, that they know what to do when they come home, all those things. And that's where I network to be able to not run out of people to hit Success Club for 79 months straight. So if they say no, still offer them something, right? Offer them that free 14-day trial. Offer them your free community, or wherever you can, put them to stay in contact with them. If they say yes, get their email and Shakeology flavor so you can send them a share cart link. Okay, and this is where I personally offer them the discount. Okay, I explain to them, I signed up as a discount coach when I first started. If you want to commit to the full 60-day program, the cheapest way is simply to sign up as a coach. It's going to save you money. And so for me, I have built my business on discount coaches and then building coaches as well. That's how I was able to, go diamond and star diamond, was discount coaches at the beginning. And so this is where, for me, I find that my discount coaches usually stay on Shakeology a lot longer than my customers do. So I just kind of lay it out here. Here's how they can do it. Either way, it's going to be the same price for them. Either way, it doesn't affect me. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to be a customer or do you want to do a coach for the discount? You let me know and I'll send you the link. And I leave the decision up to them, and they'll say coach or customer. And then I send them the share cart. And this is where they can upgrade their challenge pack per se. I explain to them and I send this little image with them and explain to them that I pick my 3 favorite things, or things that I know this person might be interested in. Like if I know a 3-day refresh would be something this particular person would be interested in, I explain to them kind of what the 3-day refresh is in like 2 or 3 sentences and why I love it. I always do Energize because I function as a mom on Energize. and I love beach bars. And so these are my 2 things that come monthly. We go through usually 3 to 5 boxes a month in our family on beach bars. So I explain that too. I need to take this off now that the portion control containers are coming back into the challenge packs. But, and I will replace it with the bevy. I know the bevy is going to be, is one of the things offered now. So this is where, and 9 times out of 10, when I actually tell them what I love, this is where I kind of lay it out. I love Energize. I love the beach bars. I love the portion control containers. I'm not going to detail what they are, but I explain kind of a little bit about them. And then I explain them, no pressure, but I wanted you to be aware because it's a one-time deal at checkout. Let me know when you finish so I can make sure it went through and get you added to my Rise and Inspire community, which is my BOD groups. And so this little image, 9 times out of 10, I see that they add Energize or they add collagen, whatever it is. And, then I get them going, and then I work through the vital process with them and getting them results and everything else. And so that's kind of like my personal invite flow and how I work through it. I build the relationship. I ask them about Beachbody On Demand. I flip that conversation over to Shakeology so they know what it is. I flip that Shakeology over to the meal plan so they can see that example. I send the meal plan, and then I ask them, that's usually one of my follow-ups, is, did you have a chance? I send them everything that they're going to get, the entire value of it. A lot of times it's interesting to see, if they don't want the challenge pack, sometimes we talk about just getting Beachbody On Demand, that it is cheaper than their Amazon Prime membership, and a lot of times it's interesting for people to make that mindset that they're paying X amount of money for their Amazon Prime. It's really interesting how many people have been like, I had never thought about that. I can get an entire year for cheaper than my Amazon Prime membership. And whatever reason, that like dropping that Amazon Prime has been a game changer for a lot of people. Like, what, let's just go ahead and get Beachbody On Demand or whatever it is. Because they don't have to just get a challenge pack. I don't add them into my personal Facebook page. I do add them into our Rise and Inspire like community that we have on the BOD groups. But if they want that extra value, like the weekly meal plans, the daily accountability, like this month in my challenge group, we're just focusing on our why. They're posting their workout selfie, and in my Facebook challenge, they're posting their why, and not just like a sentence of why they're working out, but the emotions that were attached to that workout, how they didn't want to press play that day, or how their kids were up all night and they still did it, or whatever it is. But we're working through like that why this month of why they're going to continue on this journey when things get hard. And so yeah. And then when it comes to the follow-up, I know I had a couple questions on here. The follow-ups, like, it depends kind of on the stage that I'm at with that person. If I'm on, I got a bug flying on my screen here. If I have already invited them to a challenge group and they said no, my follow-up then is not going to be a challenge group again. My follow-up is going to be relating to that person and building a relationship again, and building a stronger, solid relationship on something that we connected to way before. Let's say, I don't make up fluff to talk to people. I'm not going to go to their page and be like, what? Okay, they like, whatever, and I'm going to find that connection. But if I do see something pop up, like going to Hawaii, I say, hey, I just saw you got back from Hawaii. That is a bucket list. What island did you go to? I need to talk my husband into this. Like, tell me more about it. Or something that we've connected, like me and Breezy connected on infertility. Like, that was an easy conversation to always come back to with me, because she knew where I was at. That was something that was vulnerable. I couldn't talk to other people about it because most people didn't know I was going through that at the time. And so her messaging me and being like a genuine, and I would say now a follow-up, right? But at the time, it really wasn't, she wasn't trying to make the sale. She was trying to be a friend. And that's the difference, I think, in a successful coach and one who struggles with the invite process, is the relationship hasn't been built. That solid relationship, you're trying to hit SC, which we should do and we want to do, but we hit SC by being genuine people and being real humans, and not a salesperson. And so if the follow-up is there and they've already told me no, then I go back to non-Beachbody talk and just continue to talk. And like I said, when the conversation dies, say goodbye. Like, don't feel like, okay, I need this person to join. I want her to join. I so bad. She needs this. So we're going to like draw out this conversation. That's awkward. Like, if you go to the park with a friend and you're sitting while your kids are talking and the girl, your best friend, comes to you and she's like giving you one-worded answers, like, clearly you're not going to continue talking to her like, oh my gosh, tell me more. Like, just say goodbye. It's fine. It's fine to write their name down and put it on different lists for another month. It's no big deal. It doesn't have to be next week. It doesn't have to be next month. It could be 3 months, 6 months, and whatever it feels good and right. Like, none of these conversations should ever feel pushed. And it comes with really building a solid relationship. And so if it's a follow-up where they're like a ghost, where they don't answer, I follow up with them and ask them like, hey, I'm a busy mama too. Like, I've got all my kids at home and I'm going cray cray as well. So I just wanted to see if you got my message. I am down to my final 3 spots. No big deal if you don't want to join, but I have other people who are wanting to. So just thought I'd check in with you to see if you wanted one of those spots before they're filled, just keep it short, sweet, and simple. One of the other like things I tell my new coaches is it's all about keeping it short, sweet, and simple when you're talking to people. So often we want to word vomit Beachbody, especially as a new coach, because we get super excited. We're excited about it. They're excited about it. And so you get super excited and just want to share everything with them, that we don't breadcrumb. We don't give them, you just want to give them enough information where they want to find the next breadcrumb on the trail to know a little bit more and a little bit more, and that's why I break it down into, don't tell them all a 10 paragraph sentence about Beachbody, then Shakeology, and then everything else that is available to them. Keep it short, sweet, and simple, like you're texting your best friend. You're not going to send these long paragraphs. When they are sent, like, how many of you guys have gotten these long paragraphs from people trying to sell you something and you just are like, you get through the first 3 sentences and you're like, oh, I don't have time for this. So keep it short, sweet, and simple, and just be genuine. Like, that is really the key to building this business and hitting Success Club for 79 months. I am no one special. Like, trust me, when Brigitte asked me, I was like, I suck right now. Like, I haven't recruited in like forever. Like, and she's like, well, tell me like why you suck. And I was like, well, I'm still at Success Club again this month, but like, I recruited one new person and she was a discount coach. Like, but it's just, there's a time and a season. Right now, my season is getting my kids back to school as quick as possible. And that's where my season is right now. And, I can do it. I have no doubt that I can do that, down the road. But this business is really just genuinely being you and being relatable and just being who you are, How long do you let them ghost you before you stop trying that month? I will send one follow-up typically after I've invited them. And if they ghost me again, after a message like, hey, I get it, busy mama, like, I leave it there. The conversation's dead. They clearly don't want to talk about it right now. Their answer is probably no. And that's when, depending on where we're at in the conversation, if it's August, like, I have a coach binder Okay, let me explain. I'm a very OCD type red minded person. So I have my little binder with like tabs that are like numbered 1 through 12. And so I literally go through everyone's name. I will cross them off who I'm talking to, and I'll move them to a different month. So if I'm talking to someone and they are a clear no, they have ghosted me, whatever, I might add them into my month 9, 10, or 11, or 12. But, and I have a little comment like, our conversation ended with this, or they're really interested in this. She's an emotional eater. So I have those notes next to their names with just like little bullet points. So when I go to reconnect with them, I already know where that conversation kind of needs to start. You know, was it emotional eating? Was it their trip to Hawaii? Was it, you know, it's just, it's easy. Sometimes, honestly, a memory will pop up, like my wedding will pop up and my bridesmaid pops up, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, do you remember what we did that day? Like, you know, or whatever. And it's just like, then it's just reconnecting like that, you know, just kind of from a memory that popped up on Facebook. Um, but I don't push. When the conversation dies, say goodbye. Like, don't ever, because that's when you just become an annoying MLMer, like, in all honesty. So yeah, that's all I have. And I'm hopefully that all made sense. Like I said, I was up at the hospital at 2 a.m. with the little baby. So my mind is energized right now, literally on energized. And so hopefully I will share this document. Do you guys have any questions at all? Okay. Okay. Um, I will be more than happy to answer any questions if you have them later. I will share this document. There's a couple things, like it is like an older document, so you might have to just tweak things. Obviously, never just copy and paste. But as soon as this is done recording, it's actually my husband's birthday, so we're gonna go have cake and ice cream and all that fun stuff. And then I will get this downloaded and recorded, and I will share that with you guys by tomorrow. It probably won't be tonight, I'll be honest. So have a good night, guys. It's so good seeing you guys. See you later.